welcome to the Lilandia Show. Today I'm coming on to talk about Earth Dragons and our work that we can do with Earth Dragons, their purpose here, like the job that they have, I guess. So I'm really excited to share more about Earth Dragons and going a bit deeper into the energy in regards to Earth Dragons. So if you are new here, welcome. My name is Lilantia. I'm a psychic realm channeler and energy healer, and I specialize in working with the magical realms. So I work with dragons, unicorns, mermaids, fairies, all of the different magical beings. I work with the lost lands of Lemuria, Atlantis, and Avalon. I am all about connecting with you to the magic of who you truly are, helping you to remember who you really truly are and that magic that is within you. So your own abilities, your healing abilities, your psychic abilities, your ancient wisdom. I help you connect to your past lives. I help you connect to your future lives. It's all about this creation of the new earth and what we are here to do. And well, we have to find our way back to ourselves in order to be able to do that. So today's video is rather specific in that I'm speaking specifically about Earth Dragons. There are many different kinds of dragons. There are galactic dragons, there are the elemental dragons. Earth dragons are just one of the elements. There are dragons that can help with basically everything, okay? So I just wanted to start with the Earth Dragons because, well, they came forward first. As it just became very clear to me. I did a video today in my group, Source versus Circle, with my friend Natalie, and we talked about dragons in general. Afterwards, the Earth Dragons came forward and asked for me to do a video about them here on my YouTube channel. So I have a few notes, so if you see me looking down, that's why I want to make sure that I cover everything. But this is a quick video, like I don't want to go too deep. I could probably do, talk about them for a very long time, but I think that this is just about helping you to remember and connect to that energy and help you to get a better, more clear picture about working with dragons. So when you go through and watch my videos, then you can get a bit from each one to make a bigger picture for yourself, right? Or to have a greater understanding. Excuse me. So the Earth Dragons, obviously, they're Earth Dragons. Their job, or what they do, is to help clear the land. They help to care for the ley lines. It's said that they were the ones who created the ley lines in the first place. And they help keep the land clean. So if there's, for example, if we're living on land that doesn't feel very clean or it's holding a lot of negative energy or something, we can call in the Earth Dragons to clear that land. The Earth Dragons can help us in clearing the path in front of us for ourselves as well. They can help to kind of smooth that way when you're moving towards something and maybe you're feeling a little bit stuck or stagnant, you're struggling a bit to move forward. They can help clear that path for you and assist you in that, especially when it has anything to do with helping the earth, which when you think about it, if it has to do with you and you stepping more into your own power and your truth and your wisdom and your abilities and whatever it is, that is connected to the earth because your energy is needed. Your authentic self is needed to do that work. Okay, so of course they're going to want to help you with that. So they also help us as we deepen our connection to the land that we are on, whether it's the land we live on or the land somewhere else. So for example, when if I journey to another place, I can connect with the Earth Dragons that are in that place, and they can help me to connect more deeply with that land, to really anchor in that energy more in that place, even if I'm not there physically. But especially on the land that you are on, if you can or invite in some Earth Dragons to help you in the work that you are doing on the land, because we all want to, wherever we are located, our connection with the earth is important. Whether it's, I live in an apartment complex right now. There's apartments all the way around me. There's a courtyard in front of me. So there's this plot, this little bit of land, but the land that's all in this general area is very kind of yucky feeling. It hasn't been treated well. So I can call in the Earth Dragons to help to clear out that energy, to refresh it. And since I have moved here, the courtyard has become much more green and beautiful. The trees, well, everything's new basically. So it just helped everything grow so much better. And more animals have come to live here since then as well. And yeah, I could say, well, it's still a new place. It just needs a little time to settle. But, and maybe it's a little bit of both. But whatever it is, I know that in the calling in of the earth dragons and the fairies and other elementals has helped in making the energy here much better, and helped me in being able to ground and be present in the space, be able to handle being in an apartment complex, for one, where there's so much energy all around me. This is where I'm called to be at this moment. And maybe the reason I'm supposed to be here is to help clear this land so that other people can have a more peaceful life, even though they may not be consciously aware of the energy. So that, and then they can help to be more grounded. And when we're more grounded, then we can really work with our intentions and our dreams and what we are manifesting. And they can help us to ground that into the earth, to bring it into the physical. They have a very grounding presence. So if we're very like, I don't know, in a lot of chaotic, busy energy, if we're having a hard time quieting our mind, then we can connect with the earth dragons to really bring a more peaceful energy in. Now, I do want to mention that dragons do not have to be just one thing. They do not just have to be just an earth dragon or just an air dragon. They can have a combination of energies that are within them. Okay, so there's not just one thing within dragons, they can be multiple things. So you may find that there's a dragon that comes forward for you that is predominantly an earth dragon energy. But as you work with the dragon, you may find that, oh, this dragon actually has a lot of fire energy as well. And I love working with dragons that have earth and fire energy, that really work in that energy really strongly, because that's a really transformational energy. The fire helps with that transformation, and really also the passion and building the energy. So if you're working with fire and earth, then you have an incredible power and force that is there for you to help you um, in your transformation, your healing, and your creation, and whatever you're manifesting. Okay, so it doesn't have to be just one thing. And I do feel that importance of that connection with the land that you are on. Now, yes, I have this connection with the land that I'm on to some degree. I don't feel like a really deep connection. I don't feel like I'm going to live here too terrible long, but I do have a really strong connection to another piece of land that is a nature reserve. And I go there regularly, and I connect with the dragons and the elementals of all kinds that live there, all of the different beings that live on that land, which is many acres. And that to me is like that perfect example of really deepening your connection with the land, and getting to know the land, getting to know the beings that take care of that land, that protect it and clear it, and all of that. And so when we connect with them, then we can have a stronger connection with the earth and with Gaia and with our purpose. And ultimately, it also helps our connection to ourselves. To me, the more grounded I am, the more present I am in the space that I'm in, the more I am able to connect to who I really truly am. Even if I know that this is temporary, that being present is incredibly important, even as we are creating our future, which isn't really our future because time is all an illusion, but that's how we see it as humans. Another thing that came forward is really important to mention is that there are dragons, earth dragons, that are within the earth itself, including within mountains or hills. I know for me, I had some connection with some dragons when I did a journey, and it began by seeing a video of a place. And in that video, I was really feeling a strong connection to these different hills. They weren't really mountains, but these different hills that were there. And then when we did the journey after watching the video of the place, it became really clear the dragons that were slumbering within those hills. And that then I actually had an experience. I talked about it in another video, where I was driving through the Rocky Mountains and multiple other mountain passes here in the United States. And I was feeling this really deep, strong connection. And when I looked back, I realized that there's actually a lot of dragon energy that was present there as well. A lot of slumbering dragons that are just still sleeping. They're not waking up yet. That they could wake up at any time. Doesn't mean the mountain is going to move, but their energy is very present in it. Okay, so, and there are a lot of sacred places that we know that as well. We know that Glastonbury has different dragons around it, and within the tour, I have experienced that quite a lot in my own journeys. But yeah, even like the mountains that we see here in the United States, we don't necessarily think of things like in that sacred way. So much like we have particular mountains we do, Mount Shasta, yes, but we don't think about it in just like everyday mountains, which like every mountain has a sacredness to it. When we look at the Native Americans, they considered different mountains sacred, and for different, they had stories related to them. Okay, so all of that, just connecting with the earth dragons and deepening that connection and really strengthening your connection with the land through working with the dragons, or it can be connecting with the land and it helps your connection with the dragons. It can go either way, but that can really come together and make a really powerful energy, or bring a really powerful energy. The dragons can help you in your work that you're here to do, to help the planet itself. So if you, especially if you're very strong into like conservation and helping in specific things. So if you're very passionate about a particular thing that is helping the planet, um, the earth dragons are very likely to be very eager to assist you in whatever ways they can. Now, if you're working with something in conservation that is more about like working with water or something like that, then maybe you're going to want a dragon that has, or it's not that you want, you're like, oh, hey, I want a dragon that does this and this and this, but maybe a dragon would come forward for you that has water element very strong, as well as an earth element, which is a little bit different. Like the energy is very unusual. I don't know if that's a good way to put it or not, but it is a little bit unusual. But there are dragons that have both of those energies. A lot of times I see water dragons as their form is very different from an earth dragon. So it makes them look a bit different. Usually those dragons, I'm like asking when to come forward so I can see it a little bit more clearly. So the one that's coming forward has a very water energy and exists very much within a body of water, but also does a lot of work with the earth beneath the water and the land the water lies on. So I'm seeing it as an ocean or a very, very large body of water, bigger than a lake. But you can go to a lake. Oops, sorry. You can go to a lake and there may be, it could be very likely that there is a water dragon that is in that lake and will help you in some way if that's what you're feeling called to. And I'll talk more about that in the water dragon video. Let's see what else I wanted to make sure to talk about. So it's said that the dragons created the ley lines, and the ley lines we know are very sacred and they connect to one another. And we know that there are building, like churches were built on ley lines, and sacred sites in ancient times were built on ley lines. And that flow of the ley lines around the earth is really important. Now we also, what I've been shown is this grid, which is beyond the ley lines. There are ley lines and there is also a grid that covers the entire planet, and this connects everything together. And the dragons help to clear the energy of this grid. And fire dragons can help with this as well, because their fire can transmute the energy. So oftentimes this is a dragon that may, or dragons that have fire and earth elements within them, or they can work together, but they clear the energy of the grid. And the grid is much closer together lines than the ley lines. And it's not like the crossing of each of these is quite as deep of an energy. I'm going to say deep. I don't know if that's the right word. Deep of an energy as ley lines that cross each other. But the grid points of where they cross, they do have a more powerful energy. There is a depth to them. And sometimes that's where there may be a vortex or something as well, just like on a lot of times where the ley lines cross, there's a vortex, but those vortexes may be bigger than the vortexes that are just on that grid that lays across the earth. Now, keep in mind, this is my perception of it. This is not anything that I read about it. This is what I have channeled, what I've experienced in my own journeys and my own experiences. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Go into the energy yourself, see what you receive, see what really feels right to you, because it could be totally different. And there's not any right way or wrong way. It's all how we are meant to perceive it so that we can do the work that we're here to do. Okay, so that is just kind of, I guess, the bit that I wanted to share about working with earth dragons. And I want to go back to, before I sign off, I want to go back to that connection with the land that you are on, or the land that you're doing ceremony on. So you may not be doing ceremony on the land you live on, especially if you live in a city. I live in a city, kind of. I mean, I'm like on the side of it, but I'm still in the city. But I go and do ceremony on a piece of land outside of town. And that is where I work with the land the most. But I do believe it's very important with where I live to keep that energy as clear as I can. I don't always remember. Honestly, I was writing all of these notes and I was like, oh man, I need to do this because I've been gone for several weeks. The energy in my house got really stale and stagnant, and I've been doing clearing in here, but I need to clear the land under my home. I need to clear the land around my home. I need to really raise the vibration here so that it feels better and so that it's easier for me to do my work here. Okay. So that land where you are and where you are called to that is nearby is really important to connect to. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't connect to other land. So I work in the energy of Avalon a lot, which means that I do a lot of journeys to Glastonbury and Avalon, which I do see as two different things, but yet very linked. And when I do that, I do work in that energy. And it is very, very powerful, even from a distance. So you may feel called to working with these different places on the earth. You may feel called to, journey to Uluru and Australia and connecting there. Like, you have to listen to what you are called to. And I think our work should be done in many different places, but is starting with where we are, so physically, so that we can really ground into that energy, because wherever you are in this moment is where you are meant to be in this moment. And if you ignore that, then you're not going to be able to ground as good. You're not going to be able to be as present. So that's just my 2 cents, my thoughts, my feelings, my information I've channeled in the past. And it's a good reminder for me, because this is not where I want to end up. This is not the place that I want to stay forever. It is really beautiful here. I have such gratitude for the beauty of the land where I live. I am in a place that is very, very accepting and loving, and there can be great community here. There is nothing wrong with this place, but I do also feel where my heart calls me to. So sometimes it's hard to remember to be here and not be to where my heart is calling me to. And just knowing that I will be in that place when it's time for me to be at that place. I can create that experience, that vision for myself, but also be here now doing what I'm meant to do here in this moment. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about this. If you want me to go deeper into particular things. Some things, it's just meant to awaken something within you. So it can be like a slight shift in you to think about it. And then you may begin to get your own information, because it's just awakening your own wisdom, things that you already know. So if something really clicked with you and you're like, oh, this is really interesting to me, start to explore that on your own, or have that in your awareness and ask to be shown more, and just allow it to come in, because you may find that you are just meant to receive a lot of information around that. And to me, what is most important is that I help you remember, whatever it may be, remembering who you are, remembering your wisdom, remembering your connection with dragons or other beings, remembering the path to creating the new earth, remembering what you are here to do on the land you live on, whatever it may be. I just want you to click with things to begin to remember. So when things feel important to you, pay attention to that. And if you do want me to talk more about it, post below in the comments and let me know. I will do more videos, obviously, about the other elemental dragons and other dragons also. I have noticed that my video about the dragons from Andromeda, or how they help us, has a lot of views, or a lot more views than some of my other videos. So it seems to be a pretty popular one with lots of comments. So I'm going to see about other galactic dragons and which ones would like to come forward and share or have me speak about them more too. So lots more dragon videos to come, but I would love to hear if there's anything specific that you would like to know. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you're not already in my group, make sure to check it out in the link below. We go live in there 3 days a week. We do channeling. We have discussions about different things. It's myself and my friend Natalie that run it. It's a safe place. It's called Sorceress Circle, so that we can be a circle, so we can be a community. Everyone is equal. No one is above another. We're all there to support each other and to bring our own wisdom and knowledge. So yeah, I think that my whole point of the group when I first created it a few years ago was a safe space for people to be authentic. So if you feel called and you need a safe space, then definitely check it out. And there are other links below as well if you would like to get in touch with me or work with me in some way. All right. I hope that you are having a wonderful day, night, morning, whatever it is for you. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.